All right, everyone. Russell Wright, Network Empire, themezoom.com, and this is the Tech Foundation SEO training course on how to research, analyze, plan for, build, and execute your money, what we call the WR1, that's your Web Ring 1 money site with Matt DeCruz. And I want to introduce you to Matt because he never does himself justice. Sue Bell is also on the line. She oversees things, keeps things in check. She is the brains behind the brains and runs several of our organizations, our enterprise-level software. It's a real privilege to have her on the phone. I just want to give you guys an understanding of the scale, the quality of the minds that you're dealing with. Sue has, before I get into Matt, who's really going to be leading this, Sue, we call her the architect in-house, ex-military programmer. This is not just hype that the marketing department has made up. Sue is seriously a software architect and marketing online code dominatrix whose long-term, unwavering vision built our enterprises and our software suite. Collaboration with Matt DeCruz, who is serious brains behind the DWS Any Silo Blog Empire Builder software, which is still in development, constant development. Again, the stuff that we do in our company we were literally told by names that I could drop that you guys would recognize that it couldn't be done. And Sue was just like, ha, right. And then we did it anyways. Okay, so I'm not going to drill too far into her bio. I'm going to leave it for you here in the Skype area so that you can read this stuff because I'm proud of this stuff. I feel privileged to be able to work with this kind of a team. I want you guys to know who it is that you're dealing with. This is no longer internet marketing land. We're going to be showing you how to build deep web networks. We're going to be showing you how to build online business that rocks. Now I want to talk to you about Matt. Matt came into the scene with us a few years ago, and we realized that, and Sue and I realized that there was some serious talent. He has a background, his skill set in return on investment online and IT debt, the ability to keep things under control, to scale your business, to do the research and before you do the implementation, to understand how to get a return on investment for your business, gave rise to several of the key pivotal applications and or features in DWS Any Silo Builder, among other things in our company. Specifically, my favorite, the one that always popped out for me, which was a game changer for me, was the business decision function of DWS Any Silo Builder. Completely smacked me in the face and changed some of the things that I was trying to do at the time. When Sue and he implemented that, that allows you to research effectively what it is that you're doing before you just assume anything about your silos. So this is some of the stuff that you're going to be learning from him, one of many things. I call him the profit engineer, and it's a good handle for him because there's so many things that you'll learn from him. He's not just a expert in the area of IT server-side stuff, coding, and software engineer in his own right. He also knows a lot about search engine optimization, siloing. Matt built his own $2 million personal property portfolio in 12 months using what later became the Network Empire traffic system. So this is the kind of quality team that we'll be dealing with. As you can see, I'm always very proud and excited and honored to work with really smart people that are a lot smarter than me. So that keeps things really, really exciting for me. I'd like to make sure that everybody is rolling in here, and that's kind of why I'm giving this intro. It looks like almost everybody in the course is here. I'd like to welcome a few of you, Joshua, Kurt. Some of the names I'm still learning how to pronounce. Welton, it's good to see you. Thank you for your patience. It was good to talk to you about your needs and wants. Some of you have come from all different kinds of places. Some of you came in from OMG, some of you came in from major web firms that are $20 million plus. We've got a real mixed mesh of quality people in here. Joshua, Kurt, it's good to see you again. Some of you are re-auditing our course. As you remember that this is a perpetual mastermind training system designed to bring you in at your own pace into our community so that you can handle some of the firepower software tools, processes, and integrations that we have. So it's really, really good to see all of you. Now, with no further ado, my job is to get out of the way and let Matt do his thing, and of course Sue. And what I'd like to do is remind you that in GoToMeeting webinar, we have the ability to answer questions, and I know that you probably have some. So here's what I'm going to suggest. As the questions come up, especially during the early part of the talk, Matt will be able to follow up after he gets through the module. So let's not interrupt the first part of the lecture and the introduction to this training until we get through it. One of the things that we're big on at Network Empire is how to learn. Okay, and learning requires first you let it wash through you. It's called the brainstorming section. And then you allow yourself to get overwhelmed so that new things can be integrated and brought to focus. This is, David Allen 101. We call that acceptance for cognitive value. So just listen and let it wash through you. And then when things get fuzzy, Matt always comes back around, and I do as well, Sue does as well. We come back around and clarify, and you'll find that through this 8-week course, it's an 8-week worth of training, and you guys are already approved for the series, you'll find that these things start to make sense. You'll find that you've learned more than you bargained for when you came in this course, that worlds have been opened up to you in terms of the layers of how technology integrates with marketing, which integrates with profit, return on investment and profit online. That's how we should learn. So when you do have questions, feel free to jot them down and even write them in the question box, and we will get back to them. Don't think that you've been forgotten. We'll just come back around. Matt, thank you so much for being here all the way from South Africa. It's really good to see you this morning and have you start this kick this off again.
Hey, Matt, before you start, Russ, could you do the zero tolerance thing?
Yes, thank you, Sue. Matt, could you scroll this? Okay, it's right here. On the screen, you can see our forward, zero tolerance. I appreciate Sue reminding me that. I've been asked by Kevin Pauling, Sue Bell, on a regular basis, for your protection, in order to protect your digital investment and our proprietary information, we are actively working with the FBI through various internet ISPs to collect financial compensation for digital thieves and legally locked down domains responsible for sheltering illegal and or stolen copyrighted proprietary digital material of any kind from Network Empire-owned websites and or members. That is you guys. All of our digital information in Network Empire is tracked via an IP address with also secret embedded code that's very hard to detect inserted that. It's extremely unlikely that we will not discover digital theft. For more information on our successful prosecutions and collections, which include the seizure of digital assets and server hardware, we have been successful, guys, in doing this. See our updated zero tolerance product that we are really serious about keeping your business leverage and insight into these kinds of technologies for you who have invested your time, your energy, and your money, okay? Have to say that. I want you to know that it's for you, okay? Thank you so much, Sue. Can we move on now, Sue? Is that good?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Russ.
You're welcome. All right, Matt, thank you so much for being here. I want everybody first to get a visual. Matt lives in South Africa. We love him so much when he comes and hangs with us to build our apps, and sometimes he'll stay for a couple months at a time despite his wife's not liking that. It is, I would prefer to have him live next door to me so we could do more collaboration, but he does live in South Africa, and, he's got this great beach and surf environment, so he is in a different time zone. It's pretty late there, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight of where he comes from and how big our team is all over the world. Matt, thank you so much for taking time out this evening, and let's roll.
Excellent. Thank you, Russ. First thing I want to do, guys, is can you give me a 1 in the chat window if you guys can hear me clearly, just to make sure that the audios are all working fine. Okay, awesome. It's coming through. Great. Okay, I'm excited. I'm very excited, guys. We're going to do something a little bit different this week. What we're going to do is we're going to first go through the modules of the course, just give you a bit of an introduction, get to see where everything is. I'll briefly take you through a few of the tools to show you what we're going to be using. I'm going to clarify a few questions. And then what we're going to do this time around in the course is we're going to start with the end in mind. And I felt that it was pretty important that I basically showed you guys some end results of what we get when we apply and build the WR1 framework. In the case study, we're just busy finalizing the case study, tweak out a few things, but it's about a 24-page document where I speak about just 2 or 3 of the components we're going to go through in this course and the effects it's had on the SASE business. Now, for the guys that are new, SASE is a hair salon. It's a local business, and essentially what we'll be doing with the course is we keep on referring back to SASE. So we've got a real-world case study that we can actually look at what's happening at it at any point in time. So if there is a major change on the web, we've got this all tracked, and we're actually measuring everything as we're moving along with it, applying specifically what we teach you guys in this program. Okay, so guys, can you give me 1 if you're all ready to start, and then I'll get stuck right in. Okay, so guys, this is 8 weeks. Over the next 8 weeks, we're going to basically start building up our sites. And what we need is basically a product to sell, whether it's your own or affiliate product. We just want you guys to have something that you can sell, okay, so you can go through a process. Preferably, we'd like you guys to work on a new website, not something that you worked on before. You can do your own projects on the side, but for this actual course, we'd like you guys to apply what we teach you to a brand new site, so there's no hidden variables or things that can throw you off course. Okay. Over the next 8 weeks, we're going to go through a very particular way of doing things. And as Russell mentioned earlier, what we're going to do is we're going to clearly define what it is that we're selling. And you'll see here in week 1, some of you guys have been through the course modules already, but we start off basically with success through definition. And this is where in week 1 we define what it is that we're selling. So we look at our product, we start looking at our market personalities. I'll speak about that shortly. We start looking at our business. How does this work with our business? And then from that, we move into week 2, and this is where we start looking for the pains in the market. We find the solutions to the pain, and then we find the co-occurrence and the congruency between our product, our business, and the market personality. What are the market personality's pains? How do we solve them with our product? And what words represent this on the web? Okay, so we start extracting keywords out of these pains that we find. In that part of the course, we're going to use Pain Finder. It's a tool that we've developed. This is one of Russell's brainchilds. And essentially, we're going to extract these pains from the web, take that, go through a process, extract the keywords, and then from there in week 3, we're going to start looking at our themes, our keywords, and our competitors. And this is where I'll basically go and drill out your keywords for you, and I'll work with you on your project to do the market analysis. And in this process, guys, over the next 8 weeks, you've got 4 hours worth of coaching time with me, so you can jump on a call with me and we can talk about what it is that you're doing, and I'll guide you throughout the process. You also get access to me through Skype, so through Skype chat. Now, the best way to communicate with me is to always hit me up in Skype first. Just say what you want to say, and then I'll make a judgment call on whether we should jump on a telephone call if it's complex and it's hard to explain through chat, or whether we just do it through text and we just quickly sort that right then and then for you. Okay, so when we get to week 4, this is where essentially week 4, 5, and 6, this is where we actually go and start building the site. This is where we done our market analysis, we found our keywords, we hop into Mini-Me, and that's the light version of DWS. We map out our silo architecture. That's where we import the keywords, we apply our business rules, and then we map out our story. Okay, so guys, what you want to think about now, once you start getting this into your head, you're a storyteller. So when you're designing your sites and you're creating your site architecture, you're outlining the index of the actual book, the story that you're going to be telling. So when you start thinking in that framework where we're stacking layers and we're actually putting layers on top of each other, this is why our stuff works so well, because we're building on solid foundations and we keep adding layers of information on top of each other and technologies on top of each other, and that's what builds up a whole network and makes it so strong and evergreen. Okay, we're going to get to week 6. That's when we're going to start working on our one feed. This is where we start introducing you guys to some forms of automation. In this course, we're going to do the intermediate version of it. In take 2, we take the one feed process and RSS, and we go to the advanced version. Okay, so in take 1, we're going to basically give you guys the core components you need. In take 2, this is where we deal with traffic, and we take you into even more advanced ways of using the automation. Okay, week 7, this is where we're going to audit our sites and we're going to start making sure that everything's working. And I'm going to show you a few things today, which we'll come back around to in week 7, where we put certain technologies in place that gives us the feedback that we need so we can make smarter decisions and we can work smarter and get more results. Okay. So in week 8, testing and measuring, analytics, checking that everything's working, and then basically that's the first iteration. Now, when we build our sites, what I want you guys to realize is that it's a repetitive process. We're doing things in iterations. So we basically go around, we'll create a silo, we'll map it out, we'll push it live, we'll start tracking it, we'll come back, we'll map our next silo out, we'll push it live, come back around, do some research, map out our third silo, push it live. The reason why we want to get our sites live as soon as possible is from the day that it's live. It's not like 2005 where you waited weeks for your site to get indexed. Things happen really fast. As soon as they're live, the spiders are there. Okay, as soon as you submit your sitemap, your site gets indexed really, really fast. And straight away, Google will start assessing where your site goes, and you'll start jumping into the search engines. But you won't come in like 900, 800, 600. You'll find that you'll come in a lot shallower in the search engines. You might come in at page 5, page 6. But just after a few weeks, you'll slowly see the power of the silo architecture and the principles that we teach, and you'll watch how the site actually rises up into the search engines without actually investing any money into it. Okay, so the takeaway from this course that I want you guys to just keep in the back of your minds is that we want to show you how to build websites that are sustainable, websites that are evergreen, and websites that actually make you money and generate leads. Okay, so with the SASE case study, I'm going to show you this document shortly, and I'm going to walk you through what we've actually done and show you the results. Okay, I think I'll take it from there. Okay, so let's just quickly look at what we're going to be doing over the next 8 weeks. I've given you the brief view, but can you guys give me one if you can all see this mind map clearly? Because this is essentially your roadmap. So if you get lost, come into the course and always refer back to this actual mind map, and it's going to take you through the process. Okay, so you guys, can you all see this clearly? Just going to quickly have a drink of water. Okay, so I basically spoke you guys through the course. This mind map over here, you'll find it on page 1 when we start. If you scroll down under the videos and the introductions, I beg your pardon, it's not the first page. It's on success redefinition. This is where you're going to find it. Okay. And what I want you guys to do this week, I'm just going to start talking about success redefinition. In order to have success, you need to define what it is that you have to do. Okay, you have to set some key performance indicators, KPIs, i.e. you need to stick a flag in the ground, and once you've got that flag in the ground, you have to try and achieve those goals. Okay, so in week 1, what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to talk about is what the heck are we selling. Okay, and when we go through success definition, with the what the heck are we selling, it's basically a document that you fill in that asks you a series of questions about your product, about the market personality, about your prices, and basically what you're going to be selling. Okay, and the reason why we do that and define what the heck are we selling, we're doing this because we need to create a linear process, and we have to start setting up our production line, because all my life I've worked in production, where we've built stuff, we manufacture stuff, and we sold stuff. From a very young age, I've been involved in production. And when you've got a good, clear idea of your process, your production line can actually exist, and you can start refining it. And essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to start with the product. We're then going to find the pains that best suit this product. We're going to look at the language that the market personalities use to define their pains, and then we're going to extract those keywords. So this is what we're going to be doing in week 1 and in week 2. Okay. Then what we're going to do is, who are we selling to? And this is where we start speaking about the market personality. Now, in the course, we use the term a market personality. What we're actually referring to is essentially, what does your client look like? Are they male? Are they female? How old are they? Who's most likely going to spend money with you? And what you'll see is when you look at the SASE case study, you'll see the certain market personalities popping in. And when I drew this market lifecycle, I spoke to Sarah and Sammy, the business owners of the hair salon, and they basically told me who they deal with, and we figured out that the people between 25 and 35-year-olds have essentially are the ones that spend the most money. But they've got the older ladies, and they've also got the girls. Most of the girls coming for the matric prom. So if I quickly go to SASE's website on Facebook, okay. So here's the site. What you can see over here is when you click on people and you click that link, you can actually see the demographics, 25 to 34-year-olds. So if you quickly want to see who you're dealing with, you can actually pick it up in Facebook. Okay, so when I go back here, and we scroll down, some before and afters. Sarah's just done a whole bunch of matricles, and this is for the prom. So these are all the young ladies over here. So these are some of our market personalities, and that falls into that category there, the 16 to 18-year-olds. Once a year, all the girls get prepped and ready for the prom, and then for 2 weeks, Sarah's salon's just humming with lots of young ladies getting all prompted up for the prom. Okay, so what I'm going to do with you guys as we're moving through this course, we're going to constantly look back at the business, the real world business, and how the business is dealing with the web, and then how they're taking the leads they get from the web and converting them into actual clients. Okay, so moving back to the market personality, in week 1, when we start defining who the market personalities are, this is quite an important process that you have to go through. So typically what I do when I come to any business is I first ask myself who's most likely to buy the product, and I'll split it up into age groups. Okay. Now you don't have to do things by age group, you can also do it by skill. So for example, if you're dealing with golf, if you're selling golf products or golf holidays, who are the people going on the golf holidays? Just as another example, you'll have your beginners, your intermediate, and your advanced players. The beginner players will go to a certain place, the intermediates will go to more advanced courses, and the pros will basically play where the pros play. So when we start defining and breaking things down into their core components, we can actually physically start seeing what we're dealing with. Then what we can do is we can actually start associating how much money they spend with us. That helps us scale that market personality in priority, who we want to speak to first, and then we can also see where are they in their life cycle. So when you look at this market life cycle, these kids are in school, these are college students, these are young professionals, mums, brides, same over here, business owners, working professionals, mums, brides, and then over here we're grands, working professionals, business owners, mums. These are typically, that's the life cycle of these people. During their life cycle, their needs change. Now, with the young ladies over here, the 16 to 18-year-olds, they'll come once a year, maybe twice a year. If they like the hair salon, they'll all be back. The 18 to 24-year-olds, they'll be there every 6 to 15 weeks, and the same applies for all of these. But what we're looking at for most of the time is continuity. How do we find continuity? How do we get these people to pay us on a monthly basis? Or what do we need to target that's going to bring them in so that we can actually increase the total lifetime value of that actual customer when we deal with them? Now, in the case study that I'm going to show you briefly today, when we started off with SASE, the focus was on the brides. The reason why we focused on the brides was because when you get a bride, you get 2 or 3 bridesmaids, you get the mother of the bride. So usually you're sitting with a party of 5 people. On average, they'll spend between $100, $200, $300 for whatever they're doing per person for that particular day. So those leads are worth a lot of money for us. But looking beyond the specific wedding day and the trials leading up to the wedding day, it's what happens after that. From that one lead, we're essentially getting 3 to 7 clients coming in. And if they're in the area, they'll come back afterwards. Okay, if we can get them to come back 2 or 3 times, we'll have them for 2 to 3 years. Okay, because ladies don't like moving from hair salons. As long as they've got a place they like, a place that does what they want, and they get the results they're looking for, these ladies will spend thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars over that period of time that they actually are with the hair salon. Before I continue, would you guys like to ask any questions at this point in time? The next thing I'm going to chat about is I'm going to show you some of the softwares, and then we're going to jump into the case study, and we're actually going to look at what we've done with SASE, what are the results, and we're going to also look at my goal with the whole case study is to just show you guys, by being focused, by measuring and testing everything, and by implementing specific things and then seeing the result and then making decisions, you can actually achieve much, much more by being focused than you would by trying to apply all the plugins that you find at once. Okay. Is there any questions, or is there anything that you'd like to add, Sue or Russell, at this point in time?
No, I think you're doing very well.
It looks
Okay,
like
awesome.
there's one,
Yes.
Matt, there's one question, which I will answer privately. They're asking what research tools do they get access to achieve the defined market life cycle?
Okay. What we do here, guys, is on What Data We're Selling, there's a link that you can actually click on that will explain the ISDNA process to you. This is the process that we follow when we go through this of defining the ISDNA. I just want to explain the DNA part of these acronyms over here. It's basically the genetic code. That's what we're referring to when you use the DNA. So we talk about a keyword DNA. We speak about the industry solution DNA. We speak about the article and video DNA. Everything that we do when we build up the WR framework is connected. It's all these components are connected, and they're connected through language. And the language is the actual keywords that we target, and then the supporting keywords that surround that primary keyword we're targeting. So for the market lifecycle, let me go back 1 year to success redefinition. Who are you selling to? All you got to do is watch these videos, and I'll basically take you through the process. I've then given you a mind map to follow all the way through from start to finish, okay? And this talks you through what I do to define my market personalities, okay? On success redefinition, there's a document called What Tech Are You Selling? And by the time you finish this document, you shouldn't take longer than 4 hours to capture all your core ideas about what you want to sell. Once you've done that, then you can start mapping out the market lifecycle. Now, the way I drew this image over here is I just used PowerPoint, and I went into their little wizards where you can draw the charts and stuff, and I just typed out my ideas. I usually use PowerPoint, or I use Lucid Charts, or I use Mind Map. MindJet's actually my favorite tool I use a lot, where I map out entire processes of things, and then I come back, review it, and then I decide what I want to build. So the research tools that we use to define a market personality, typically what you want to do there is you just want to go look online. You want to look at who's selling the stuff, who they're talking to, who's their audience. In this case, we're dealing with a hair salon. It speaks to children, it speaks to men, it speaks to women. The primary focus being on the female, okay? So what I want you guys to do when you define your market lifecycle is not rely on software and technologies, but rather just turn internally and think to yourself, if I'm this person, what will I be looking for? How will I search online? These are the things we're trying to do. When we build our websites, we can't build them from the business's perspective. We always have to build the website from the pain that comes from the market personality's perspective. And as a business, we've got to provide the solutions. So when you look at your website, you've got to look at it through the lady's eyes, in Sassy's example. If you're doing the golf website as an example, you've got to look at it as a beginner golfer or intermediate golfer or advanced golfer. What would an advanced golfer want to do the same type of stuff that a beginner golfer would do? And you just think the story through in your mind, because you need to relay this story when you build your site and you've marked out all your keywords, define the silo architecture. When we come to what Russell teaches us about the persuasion layer in weeks 2 and 3, when we talk about that, sorry, week 2, we have to drop this persuasion layer, which is our copy, it's our message, it's our story that we're telling the market personalities. We're dropping that on top of the silo architecture, okay, and that's where we tweak our headlines, our titles, all those kind of things. So does that answer your question, Welton? Can you give me a 1, Welton, if that clarified a question for you? Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, Joshua. Joshua's was wondering what is the best tool that I can use to find the age demographics of my site by analyzing competitors' website. Joshua, there's not really a tool out there that does this. I've got 2 videos in the course where I show you where I use Quantcast, but that's inaccurate science. It's a very difficult thing to do. What I would do, which I showed you here today, is on Facebook, if the people have a Facebook website and they're actually speaking, communicating, like Serenet do, they post every single day on Facebook. When you click on the link that says people, typically you can see the demographic over here. Okay, and by looking at the pictures and who they're presenting the pictures to, you can see it. You can also look at 95 people talking about this, and we can follow those links through. Now you notice in Facebook I'm not logged in, so this is public knowledge that is available. That's one of the ways to quickly just have a look and see what's going on. Does that answer your question, Josh? Welton's asking, what do you think about Alexa Insights? Alexa is good as well. Alexa gives us some great information. We can actually have a look there. I'll just fire into that quickly for you. Now with Alexa, you need to install a plugin to unlock all the actual metadata. They actually hide a whole bunch of stuff away. I personally don't have the plugin stuck in. But let's just type in Sassy hair salon. See what that said there and see what comes up. What you want to do is when you're defining your sites, guys, and defining who you're speaking to, you want to basically, see I'm not logged in, so it's not showing us the demographics of the site. Okay. For local type of sites, it's also going to be pretty hard to get these metrics because they don't have millions or hundreds of thousands of people running through the actual site when we're dealing with local businesses. But for competitive analysis, Alexa is good as well. SEMrush is good as well to get information. But to get demographics, that's quite a difficult thing. But don't stress about it too much, guys. The great thing that you need to take away from today's lesson is just have fun with your website. Get it up there. Test and measure. You can't find out exactly what's going on with your site until it's actually live and you've got your tracking running. Okay. Only when you got your tracking running can you actually see what's going on, what keywords are working, what keywords are coming in. That's when you get your feedback, and that's when you really start playing the game. And the thing about a website is it's a perpetual process where we're going round and round and round until we've achieved all our goals. So we keep on coming back, tweaking, adding, building, carrying on. And as we build and stack the layers on top of each other and we start adding all the components, so in this course when I speak about actions, for example, if I submit my website to Freebase as a third-party platform, I'm taking an action to do that. When I use a CDN, I'm installing a component. It's a third-party technology that I'm utilizing to enhance my site. So I'm plugging components in and I'm taking actions to achieve certain results. Okay. Yeah, have fun, guys. Seriously, have fun with the sites. Don't overthink it. Don't go and run off in a wild rush. Just take your time and be consistent and just add one component after other and you'll get results. Okay, so in the course, I just want to speak about the software quickly. You get access to Paint Finder. You get access to Mini-Me with your basic Network Empire subscription. Can you guys give me a 1 if you're focusing on local business and 2 if you're dealing with bigger projects like for national companies and things like that? I just want to get a feel for what you guys are building, and 3 if you're doing affiliate sites. Okay. Okay, so we're dealing with local and national. Okay, well this is fun. What I'm going to show you guys today will help you a lot. So we're going to use Mini-Me to map out our sites. The way it's going to work is when we go to week 1, we're going to define our sites. Week 2, Russ is going to teach us how to find the pains in the market and how to extract the keywords. Week 3, Sue and I are going to talk about market analysis and extracting your keywords. That's when we're going to actually start drilling into Kraken, and I'm going to do it for you guys to give you the starting blocks. And you'll get a week's access to Kraken. Now typically the way that works is you'll give me your primary keyword and 3 or 4 keywords that you want to target. If you get stuck, please text me on Skype so I can help you think that through. And then we're going to go and drill those keywords out in Kraken for you. Once you're ready to go in Kraken and do it, then you can either do it straight away as soon as we send you access back, or you can arrange a time for Kevin to unlock it for you. You're only going to get 1 bite of the cherry, guys, so it's not something that you can miss your appointment and then come back and then get it reset again. If you can log into Kraken, utilize the information, you get your 7 days free. Okay, so it's 1 bite of the cherry. Make sure that you can take the best time to utilize that. What I do for you though is I download all the keywords that I've extracted already. So the keyword data that comes out of Kraken, I'll package that up and I'll give it back to you. So you can just take those and hoover them straight into DWS and map out your site. We're going to use Painfinder. And that's part of the any subscription, so you don't have to get that. And then if you want to use TLKT, I'm sure if you spoke to Kevin and Sue, they'll be able to sort out any special deals for you guys for that. I can't speak on that at this point in time. Right, so once we've mapped it out, we're then going to start building our site and getting it live. Now typically when I do that, I set up my blog, I import the XML from DWS. That creates the silo architecture for the whole site literally in like seconds. I've got some videos out there where I built a whole website in 10 minutes from start to finish to show you guys how it's done very fast. That's how powerful that tool is. Once it's done, we then go and drop our contents, drop in our analytics, set up webmaster tools, get the site live, and then we can start tracking. Okay, so the last 15 minutes, I'm going to basically just quickly talk you through this case study, and within the next 2 or 3 days, we'll probably get this case study out to you guys, either in the tech course area, or we'll actually have a protected link where you guys can download it from. Now, what I do, the tools I personally use is AW Card. I use this to actually track my rankings, and I use Crazy Egg. This is a tool I use to actually look at the heat map. Where are people clicking? Are my call to actions being seen? What are the hotspots? Like this button here is a hotspot. The guys are clicking here. So this area of my site is a massive opportunity. This banner here is a massive opportunity for me to get my call to actions in. We can see over here that guys are clicking on the hair. Okay. So before I go into this, I want to hop across to the case study and just show you briefly what's going on. Okay, and I want to show you some results. Okay, so what we've done in week 3 is we've mapped out a silo architecture. So you can see the structure in DWS, and in this course study, I take you through this case study. I take you through the process of what we've done. Now, with Sassy, I'll bring up the site and just show you quickly over here through Crazy Egg. This is the website. And what we've done in this case study is we've tracked what certain actions do over the last few months. Okay, so we set up our hair silo, we set up our wedding silo, and we set up our makeup silo. Now for the case study, what I did was on makeup, I only used less than 300 keywords, 300 words on a page. On the hair, a bit more per page, and then on the wedding, I used much more content. I optimized the wedding silo because that's what we focused on first. Okay. And the reason why I put thin content in was, one, I wanted to track and see what the results are from a local perspective, but 2, I wanted those keywords to start moving up the rankings. So when I'm ready to come back to that actual silo and optimize it and fix it up and add more content and put more of the offers in that are current for that specific silo at that point in time, most of the work's done. Okay, so guys, the first thing we're going to talk about is silo architecture, and this is essentially where we map and we build and we target the most important keywords that are used within that market. And this is what Kraken gives us. It gives that information back. So I'll be showing you how to do all that. But with this, I just wanted to show you some screenshots of what, just by setting up the silo architecture, what it actually did. Okay. So we set that up. We got the site up very quickly. And when I start tracking, you can see I start tracking from the beginning, and I'm watching the signals all the way. Can you guys give me a 1 if you can actually see this one from a zoom in? I just want to make sure that this is visible. You will get a copy of this document just to read through for your own personal studies. How to zoom in, view, zoom. Okay. What I'm going to show you guys here is what we have done with Sassy. Okay, and with Sassy, to date, I basically wrote this case study last week. I spent a few days writing it out, looking at everything very carefully. We've only got 2 backlinks to the actual website, but we're outranking most of our competitors with these, and we've only flicked the. How can I even put this? This is quite a funny way to put this. We've we've only applied maybe 2 or 3 components and we've taken one action. And the reason why I've done this is to show you guys that without too much effort, we already are in the money. We're already getting leads into the business. We're already outranking the keywords, competitors for most of the keywords. Our national keywords are basically sitting on page 2. And we've not invested money into backlinking. We've not invested money into writing more content. We've not invested money into setting up PBNs. We've not invested money into buying H domains. We've not done any of that stuff yet. Just with silo architecture and 1 or 2 components to enhance the site, and by verifying that we're a real business, that we are trading, we've got a fixed address and all those kind of things that go with a local business and a national business, we have moved through the rankings. We've not tripped any of the algorithm filters, we've had no manual penalties, and all we've done is we've come and we've filled up the site. I tell the whole story in the case study here, so I want to go through it, but I wanted to show you some key highlights of it. Okay. When you start tracking from the beginning, when you launch a site, you get to start seeing patterns of how your site's doing. You can see the signals. Now, what we're looking at here is the ranking visibility. And when I speak about ranking visibility, it's basically how close is that keyword to position number 1. And typically with AWR Cloud, the way they work is if you're in position number 1, you get 30 points. If you're position number 30 or above, you get 1 point. Okay, so if you're not in the top 30, you basically just get 1 point. They acknowledge your keyword. If you're in the top 3, you get 30 for position number 1, you get 29 for position number 2, you get 28 for position number 3. And that gives you a visibility score. And what's great about this is when I set up the silo architecture on the site and I got the site live, you can see we start getting visibility straight away. Okay, so there's hair salon, that's the theme of the site. This is what's happening on the wedding silo. That image is loading for hair. Makeup, we can see there's a lot of movement in the rankings. Okay, so what I've done here is I'll show you, I'll briefly talk you guys through keyword grouping and tracking. This is where once we've created a silo architecture, you're going to learn about the keyword DNA. The keyword DNA is essentially a subset of keywords that make up the story for that specific silo. So what I'm doing here, we want to sell hair extensions. I'm testing 3 hair extensions that are locally in the market. I mentioned them briefly on the site, and those keywords are already getting ranked and they're moving up. They're not in the top rankings, but they're moving up. They're almost there. In makeup, we're tracking 19 keywords. Our branded keywords, we've got 25 branded keywords. Wedding, 23, hair, 23. So you can see the keywords are pretty much all the same. Now, in this particular application, we've got color coding here, which reflects on the actual rankings. So you can see when we started with the brand came up in the visibility first. Okay. Then our silo, the yellow one, which is actually weddings, that came up super high. So when we see them entering in super high like this and then moving down, that shows us that the keywords don't come at the bottom of the index. They come up like page 1, page 2, page 3. In the case study, we'll see some more pictures. I speak about a ranking by design. This is what we're teaching you guys in Network Empire. We're teaching you guys how to use silo architecture to basically smash your competitors with as little effort then, well, it's ridiculous actually. I don't know how to express it. That's why I love silo architecture. It saves you so much money, it saves you so much time, and it simplifies a lot of things. So in weeks 1, define your product. In week 2, listen very carefully to what Russell tells you when he explains to you how to find the pains in the market. This is key to setting up everything else that follows. In week 3, when Sue talks about market analysis, how to find the money in the market, how to find where the traffic flows, how to find what keywords, what language people use to express what they're looking for. Once we identify all those things, then we can look at our product, we can decide on what is the story we want to tell, and then we can map out a silo architecture. When we do that, we get a theme, and the theme covers the entire site, and then the search engines, Google, reads these themes and it understands what you're trying to say. Okay, so it's got a lot better. I'm going to talk a bit about on-page factors in the course, just basic things you can do to help improve your site. In this case study, I show you we did the SEO last rather than doing it first, and the reason why we did that, we wanted to see what would happen with the thin content versus the silo. What would happen when we implement components on thin components on content, and then lastly we went in and just did SEO, cleaned up the site, and we can see a big jump. We speak about content delivery networks, the impacts it has. We talk about the branding. We talk about the visibility of your site. Okay, we talk about impressions, clicks, and average positions. So we're going to some analytics over here, and then the tests. So the first test was what's happening with silo architecture. And you can see the visibility across the site is pretty high. Now when I go to AWS Crowd and log in here quickly, I'll show you guys the visibility for today. So when we look at our keyword groups, what I do is I take the DNA braid for each keyword, I use the silo keyword for the group, and then I put all the other keywords in there. That allows me to segment the site by group, and I can actually look at it for the last year. Let's roll this right back to the year. Select all our keywords, show them in a chart. And what I'm looking at here on this screen is essentially head extensions is blue. You can see it's coming in there, but look at the position. We're in position 71, 46. As we're coming here, 46, 69. It's still bouncing around, but I'm on like page 5 for a keyword that's related to hair and hair salons, yet I don't have a page for it on my site yet. I've only got it mentioned within my site. Okay, makeup. You can see makeup is dropped. It's come back in. Now this is when we did the on-page SEO, and this is with the thinnest content. You can see it dropped. I optimize the site and everything's climbing. And what I do with this type of stuff when we work with keyword groups, guys, is we're just watching the movement. We always want to have an upward movement with what we're doing. When we look at our visibility, this is where in Kraken we find out who our competitors are. We take our offline competitors and we can actually add them into the system. And this is where we can actually look at how we're ranking compared to them. So this is one of our main competitors in the area, blisshd.com. And our visibility, look at our points versus theirs. It's nearly 6 times more visibility. We can see our visibility. This is their website. It's basically flatlining and moving around. And this is SASE compared to them. Okay. Now each time you see these stepping stones, these are when I've actually implemented specific actions or components. Okay, so we started off with 0, we had a stepping stone, we came in here. We implemented some stuff, another stepping stone, on-page optimization, another stepping stone. Here's another competitor over here, Nubo. This is our Facebook page. Also, 6 times more visibility. So our average rank across the entire website, looking at all the keywords that we're tracking, and I think there's close to 120 odd keywords we're tracking, our average position is basically 46. Our competitors is 98. On the first page, we have 105 keywords. Our competitors have 8. Below the first page, we have 168. Our competitors have 265. First place, 29 keywords, competitor 3. Top 3, 61 keywords, competitor 5. Top 5, 83 keywords, competitor 6. Missed opportunities, top 10, top 20, top 30. These are all missed opportunities. These can also enhance us. We've got 100 odd keywords that we're missing, and they've only got 8 or 9. So the point I'm trying to make here, guys, to you is with silo architecture and what we're showing you in this course, this build will take you much, much further forward than any other people are showing you. Okay. As we scroll down and look through this here in the test studies, there was something I wanted to show you. Yeah, this is the part here. With SASE, we're using a contact form. The transaction for that website is essentially getting an email, okay, or someone phoning in. That's how they make their money. People phone in, they get them booked in. People send an email, they call them back, they get them booked in. Now we can see here as far back as 2013. This is roughly when we launched the site. Maybe a month after we launched, roughly about September. 2013 got the site live. The first lead pulled in. 2014. January, we had 3 leads. February, we had 3 leads. March, 3 leads. Every month, we are getting leads. And at this moment, we're getting 4 or 5 leads a week. And we've only got 2 backlinks pointing to our website. Okay. Now, this is really important. This is what I wanted to show you guys. You guys can read the rest of the stuff in the case study when I send it out to you. But what I wanted to show you guys was I wanted to show you the end result of what I want to take you to achieve. Here's an email from Kelly Carlston. And when we're speaking about a market personality, this is the message we got from her. She says, "Hi, I'd like to inquire about your bridal makeup. My wedding day is the 20th of December 2014. I'll need makeup for 4 ladies." Now, when we started the course, when we built the site, this is who we're targeting, and this is the typical type of lead that we're getting coming in. Okay, so she's looking for price lists and the availability for the day. Now, December is just around the corner. She's been actually communicating with Sarah, and they're starting to book in all the trials. So this lady has been preparing a year in advance for her wedding. She's been finding who she wants to deal with, and the girls have closed the deal on. I think it's 5 people that are coming in for that wedding. Okay, so we've spoken about the visibility. And there's the 2 backlinks. I wanted to show you guys the stuff from Majestic. So there's the domain, 2 external backlinks, citation flow is 7, 0 trust. We like hardly any trust at the moment. But just because of how we built the site, just because we submitted the site to Freebase, just because we speed the site up, and we're speaking and theming our sites properly, we're getting a lot of love back from Google, and this is what I want you guys to get. Do you guys have any questions at this particular time? Is there anything coming in?
Yes, one thing that Joshua has asked is, can he use the full power of silo architecture, even if he only has a single sales letter page as a millionaire-creator.com, millionaire-creator.com? And I've answered this very cryptically, but it really depends on. I mean, a silo site is a silo site, Joshua, and you either have it or you don't when it comes to that. Now, there are methods that Matt teaches, including the bolt-on silo method that we have at Network Empire, where you can add silos later on. You're going to have to make a determining factor. You're going to have to make a determination. Hopefully you've seen u-everywhere.com, which is a bit of a superficial but basic map that reveals what we call the Network Empire sustainable web ring system. This is, when we say web ring, this is Sue's model of a sustainable and domain authority stacking, page authority stacking within your own personal network, so that you're driving all that link juice from whatever it is that you decided to create. A lot of the times what people are doing is they're creating social profiles and every which spam technique that's come out on the Warriors Forum, and they lose track really quickly of the axiom or the core focus of their online business intention and model. And Matt gets into that quite a bit throughout this course. The bottom line is that this certification level 1 is designed to make sure that you do understand this first web ring, WR1. And what Matt is working with right now is really number 1 on this flash. And it's really focusing on your silo site. Now, you're going to have to make some decisions. Are you going to use your sales page as a product page and have another WR1 site that you lead people to for their sales, and then are you going to build what I consider to be an authority site that's really focused on building a whole lot of domain authority? Generally speaking, domain authority is a result of a lot of really great content on that same domain. Now, there are some things you can do, which really probably Sue would be better to speak to than I would, because it gets a little bit on the technical side, where you can use subdomains and different kinds of things like that on Millionaire Creator. That's not my area of expertise. We talk about that in courses such as domain authority stacking, definitely at the live certification event. Matt does get into the subdomaining a little bit. We've had students that come back who maybe have a national, perhaps a national chain of some kind that has distributors and the web developer, the web system for that. For example, let's say you own some Jiffy oil lube changing stores, and then they're all franchises, but the franchise association provides you with the websites, for instance, in which case they use subdomains. Do you understand what I'm saying there, Joshua? So in that sense, you're really looking at a strategy. And this is the time to start thinking about those strategies. Matt and I can answer those types of branding questions. It's a combination between branding and how you want to set up your technical infrastructure. And there is a lot of work involved in, there's a lot, let me put it this way, there's a lot more work involved, in my opinion, on creating subdomains. However, there are times, depending upon how if you're beginning with the end in mind, that the subdomain model might be worthy of consideration. Again, I shouldn't be the one that makes that decision for you. You just need to look at the information that we have and that we provide for you, and that is a way that you can create a silo flow. Keep in mind that our plugin software, the things that we've created to make it easy for you to do that, such as the flow of data from Matt and Sue's software, DWS Any Silo Builder, is not easily utilized within Silo Blog Builder, our plugin, and our upcoming newly released plugin on subdomains. You'll have to do quite a bit more manual working to leverage that. Does that make sense, Josh, or did I cover that enough for you to just give you some ideas, to spark some ideas for you? Okay, cool. Thanks. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, no worries. Here's one from Melton.
Oh, okay. Welton is saying,
recommend doing a Shopify store from a WR1 money side?
That would be okay, no problem, Matt. That's a derivation or a tangent from this course. Look at it like this, Welton. If you have not, again, my purpose here is not to, in any regards, undermine or underplay this site. You can get everything that you need to know. Just know that we have certain ideas and principles, since we are one of the most advanced SEO and online traffic generation university-level systems in the world. Our certification courses have different focuses. And for instance, I would be interested in looking at something like that. The first thing that I think, Welton, when you ask me a question like that is, you know, Jimmy Kelley and Sue Bell pop into my head and start asking me questions about, well, what is the domain authority of Shopify? How do you work with Shopify? What is the function of Shopify? Is it a shopping cart? Is it, you know? So we would have to go deeper into what the function is of Shopify. If Shopify is a shopping cart and you're looking at e-commerce, that is a different can of, I'm not going to say worms, but it is a different topic. Yeah. Well, for instance, Welton, there are times, and probably Sue generally addresses that with every 8-week boot camp at some point. And we also do address e-commerce issues sometimes in our monthly. I don't know if you know this, Welton, but we have a monthly Bring Your Own Silo workshop at Network Empire every month. Sometimes students do bring shopping carts that are fully created, and the technology used to build those shopping carts is not only sometimes it's less than optimal in terms of silo knowledge. Now, we get a lot of questions about different shopping cart systems. I believe Shopify is hosted already. So what I would suggest really doing is take provide Matt or myself or anyone else that's coaching you with a link to that and put it in. Look at the U-Everywhere model and ask yourself, okay, how does this fit into first of all, the business flow? If it makes sense for you to have a shopping cart system like that, you always got to be on guard. Like I've been on multi-million-dollar consulting events with Sue with big shopping carts that are generating millions of dollars per week. And it's amazing in those systems. It doesn't matter how much they're making in terms of what Matt calls business optimization. What you see is really crappy SEO most of the time. And and Matt has done some consulting with some major organizations. For instance, Michaels. Does everybody know Michaels Craft and Gift? Are you guys familiar with Michaels in the U.S.? Matt has done some pretty big consulting, and it's actually remarkable how poorly some of these sites are structured. So one of the things that you might consider, Welton, is when you get to that part of it and you're looking at how to distribute your sales, just ping Matt or myself, look at it. We'll look at how the big challenge is, how does your business model and your optimization come into mind? Because I know that sometimes the shopping cart is a really big deal for people. You've got a lot of products. There's things that you can do and optimize to fix it. And if you're fortunate enough to have met us before you build a gigantic shopping cart system, oh my goodness, geez, Like, there is multi-million-dollar businesses that have said, "Dang, Sue, or Matt, I wish I'd met you before I built this damn thing." So that's the good news. Well, it's really a look at what you're going to do. Okay, so we can deal with that. That's a great question, Weldon, and not a bad question at all.
Yeah. What I could suggest you, Welton, and for the rest of you guys is we all got to have our 1 hour consultations. I know I've spoken with Joshua he's at his first 1 hour, but I'd like to sit down and just have a chat about your business, what you're doing. That first hour is really important, and this is where we can just have a brainstorm on what it is that you want to do, and I can give you some suggestions, and you can go away and think about it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, well, most of the times, what I find is people overcomplicate what they're trying to achieve.
That is definitely true. Matt has taught me a lot on the, shaving off. There's the Occam's razor, kind of approach something. Are you guys familiar with Occam's razor as a concept? Just give me a one if you already have it's a scientific endeavor where often the simplest solution is often the best. Sometimes in entrepreneurship they call that the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. The main thing is that website silo architectures are already complicated enough, and I think that what happens is people get overwhelmed and then they begin to confuse their business model with the technical infrastructure. So, Matt and Sue and myself will help you keep a nice balance between business decisions and technical decisions. I think the SEO, the overly optimized SEO industry tends to make things more complicated than they are. I agree with you, Matt, on that. That's really a good point.
Yeah, I wanted to show you guys, I did this case study for you guys just to really prove a point that comes right back to what we said now, where we're not overcomplicating things. And I wanted to show you guys the results of, on a typical local business, their goal was to get leads. They know that when they get the person on the phone, between 60 and 80% of those ladies come into the salon just to see them, just because of how they handle the phone calls. And then out of those 80%, they probably close between 40 and 60% of those people. And then they're recurring, those people coming back. Now, that's the goal for the website. So we don't have to have a fancy system. So I've kept SASE really simple. But what you can see here is we've just done a few little changes, but you can check the influence on Google. You can see the influences on Bing. You can see the influences on Yahoo. Every time we add a component, here we're optimizing and doing a shift. So we've had this staggering effect coming along. There we just did a bit of optimization, and Google really responded super well. And what's great about Google these days is they're pretty consistent with how they respond. And if you keep on just adding the right things to your mix and build your business, and not worry about getting ranked for every single little keyword, because by default, I can show you in SASE, there's hundreds of keywords that we ranked for in positions number 1. It's not a problem. It's really easy. What we really want to find out, and what I want to teach you guys or pass on to you guys through this course, is once we build the foundation of your business, okay, online, then how do we find the traffic streams that actually create money in our business? And that's what we're really, really after. Okay, so I was going to show you this quickly here. We've outranked most of our competitors already in this thing. So when we click on position number 1, you can see that if I go to 100, you can see there's a whole bunch of keywords in position number 1. They're all getting impressions. There's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And all we've got is 2 backlinks pointing to this website. So above the fold, we've got a lot of traffic flowing through the site. There's a lot of impressions. The guys are clicking through. And most importantly, they're filling in the contact form. We're getting the leads. And that's what it's all about. It's getting that lead. It's creating that transaction. It's closing that sale. This is why you build online businesses, guys, is to make money, is to improve your business, to make your business grow. So have the chat. Let's have the 1 hour chat. We'll talk about your business, because I want to see what you guys have defined to be selling. Because remember, to get success, we have to define what we're selling. So in our chat, we're going to look, what the heck are you selling is the first thing. And number 2, I want to get an idea of who you're selling to. What's your market personality? So what I've done is I've just gone all the way to the end. I've shown you the end result of SASE. I've shown you the leads they're getting. I've shown you the rankings. I've shown you that we've only done silo architecture. We've added the CDN to speed the site up. We verified the business is real by submitting it to your free base. We then done on-page optimization. That is all we have done on Sassy. We got more visibility online than our competitors. We were getting leads. We were booked full till February in the hair salon with weddings. Sarah was moaning because she has to work every Saturday over the Christmas holiday doing all the weddings. And this is what I want to relay back to you guys, so that for the next 8 weeks, don't overthink it. Just let everything you hear sink in. Just listen to it. Don't overthink it too much, and just apply the basic stuff that we show you right now through this course. Okay, once you get these foundations in place and your foundations are solid, when you start adding the other things like domain authority stacking and adding the one feed and adding the WR1 blog and then adding social explosion into the mix, then the platform is so solid, these things work super well and they just kick off. Your rankings just fire, you explode, you get a lot of traffic, it happens. Okay, so this week in week 1 I wanted to do an induction. I wanted to give you a brief top-level overview of what we're going to be doing over the next 8 weeks. I wanted to clearly define how we communicate with each other, and I really want to encourage you guys, please just jump on a call with me, get booked in, and what I'll do is in the personally I'll send you guys a link where you can book your calls with me, and then we can just take it from there. Russ, would you like to add anything at this point in time, or Sue? I think I've covered what we're going to be doing over the whole course. I've shown the results, what is achievable with not too much effort.
No, that's good. I think we do have a question. Some people are excited enough to be asking about how to contact for coaching, and so they're probably looking for some protocols to contact you when it's appropriate for working hours and how to reach you.
What I'll do is I'm going to go to each one of you guys. We're all on Skype at the moment, so I've got your contact details. I'm going to be sending you a link to my time trade. That's my booking system, and all you do is you click on the link, open up the time, pick your slot that's available, and you'll get you booked in. And then on that day, what we'll do is we'll just jump on Skype and have a chat and look at what you're doing.
Yeah, and also
we'll take it from there.
Yeah, and if you haven't been, I want to make sure that you have my personal Skype email is, Skype address is ThemeZoom, one word, ThemeZoom, so that I can drop you in the Tech Foundation 1 members only course that is still in Skype. We have some of you asked me about this. We did get rid of our basic entry area Skype room because it was not large enough for the number of people. There's a limit of 300, and we have something like 500 or 600 people interested. So we do have a HIP chat basic network empire area. What that's supposed to be is a pivot point to help people go to the various portals and gates, kind of like the airport traffic area where you go to your various gates, because we have so many products and services and softwares that we are stacking together for you to build your empire, that we know that people sometimes, when they walk into our hall the first time, they're a little bit overwhelmed because it is a university. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that. Does that answer your question? I hope I can pronounce your name correctly. I'm looking at Vagaro. Did I say that right, or did I mispronounce that? We do try to learn difficult names, or that seem maybe difficult to Americans, and want to make sure that I have that correctly. But does that answer your question? So, okay, cool. Excellent. I just want to go over some basic things that I shouldn't have to go over, but I just don't want to make any assumptions. Basic mindset, you guys know that ultimately you want to be working on your business and not in it. Ultimately, we teach that the correct mindset is to be moving towards a liquidity event, be able to build a property that's an asset rather than viewing it as trying to create a job for yourself. So those general mindsets are really, really good. Matt is going to be showing you how to create properties that you can do whatever you want with them. I mean, you can, once you get good at doing this kind of stuff, sure, you can consult. Sure, you can have your own business up and running. Sure, you can drive traffic to affiliate sites. It really is the heart of the beginning phases of what we have with the network empire: socially active, semantically integrated, one web ring, domain authority, and stacking system. There isn't anything that's integrated like this at this scale anywhere in the world. And we do realize that for a moment it could seem a little bit overwhelming, but once you begin to see how it puts together, you'll see, you'll kind of sense the same ideas over and over again, and then at that point it's just applying that to build your authority. Does anybody have any questions on that before we end today? We will actually be putting some of you on the hot seat on week 6 and 7 as we get deeper into it. Generally speaking, you'll be given homework assignments And the homework assignment now, this is the meet and greet. This is to make sure that you know where to go. One thing, Matt, in terms of the reports and the keyword research drills and everything, do you have anything that you want to address on that? Because that is something that sometimes people get they're a little unsure about how to provide that. At what point do they start getting into that? What week?
Yes, in week 3. In week 3, guys, in the module week 3, when you click on this link, there is a section saying where to submit, but the process is essentially what you'll do is you'll go to our help desk, okay, and you'll submit a ticket saying you're a Tech Foundation student, and what we'll need from you is your primary keyword and the supporting keywords. But on week 2, I want to start getting those keywords from you guys. But that's why we'll have the 1-hour consultation as well, and I'll help you to start getting your head around it. I spent an hour with Josh, and he basically got to find out where he must be looking for stuff. So I'll do the same with you guys. That's part of what we do.
So to give you guys an idea of the build process, you're getting in this course the equivalent of what we have on automagicsilo-system.com, which is a several $100 done-for-you research package. So there's a lot included in this course building up to week 3 where you will have insight into the neuromarketing tricks that I provide on how to look at, and what Matt's providing as the research outline. So really advanced training. And again, what's great about this course, it is in preparation for those of you who may decide to move on in March and maybe even October next year for our live certification event. Whatever you choose to do, once you get this preliminary training under your belt, several different worlds will be opened up to you in terms of pathways. And so I'm really excited about this for all of you. I think that's really all that we need today, unless, Sue, you have anything you want to wrap up? Do you have a State of the Union speech or anything that you want to include, or are we good?
Well, I think we're good. I got to say that watching Matt go through that report with what's happened with Sassy and the response that that's happened with the business there, that I'm pretty stoked. I'm excited to help you guys walk through this course and get your sites going and see some of the same kind of response that Sassy site has gotten. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
Excellent. So she's excited. That's a good sign. Also keep in mind, guys, that our organization is getting hammered all over the world. All of a sudden, we become hyper popular, not just really popular, but so we are getting hit. Part of the reason we're clamping down on things, and we're a pretty tight-knit community. Like some of the folks who've gone, there's a few people on this call today who are actually full certified advisors, meaning they've gone through the whole process of coaching with us over many years, and generally speaking, we're a really tight-knit community, and once a member, always a member. And we just really get to know each other. And there's not really a lot of like internet marketing things out there like that. We just do things differently. We perceive the world differently. And that's all for your benefit. So I really do look forward to seeing you guys graduate from this course. And Welton's saying, honored to be able to have all of you teaching us, really looking forward and working with you, exciting new discoveries. Yes, it's really cool. It excites us every time. And we do it every 15 weeks or so, Welton. So really excited. And thank you so much. So we'll see you guys on the inside of the Skype group, and Matt and I will be seeing you on the various interactions. Contact Matt for that.
Russ, one last thing there. For week 2, which is next week, when we speak about solutions to the pain, do you want the guys to have anything prepared? Week 1 is basically what the heck are they selling and who their market personalities.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want them to prepare for you?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, obviously, what the heck are you selling? The most difficult time is that someone will have with this course is if they are still in the middle of their inception, that is their early, they're still tire kicking. Generally speaking, we're not a business opportunity. In other words, we don't provide products and services to sell and something to sell or with some kind of automated marketing. I mean, we teach you all that stuff. But the challenge might come up if you don't have a product or service. So if you don't have one, find a placeholder. That's just the best that you can do. Like find a product that at least isn't horrible, and we're happy to even look at that because it's going to become important when Matt begins to show you the business decision module, how to look at traffic and cost. Generally speaking, you need some kind of topic or theme, because what's going to happen when we do our FAQ and SAQ, that's our frequently asked questions and our should ask questions and our pain behind the pain. Okay, we do actually extremely elaborate but easy to understand neuromarketing indicators. What that means is I'm going to be showing you how to look for the pain in the market so that we can write the headlines that matter, so that we can it's not only headlines that matter, that's an awesome byproduct of excellent positioning, but how to position your attitude, literally the attitude, which is the tilt of your business, like where you're going. That's going to be very important in the process that I show you with the frequently asked questions and should ask questions. So you got to have something that you're selling. That's the first thing. And again, if you don't have that, and I think there's one or two that may not yet be clear, if you don't have that, that's fine. Just go with something as if that was your business, okay? And then maybe you decide to flip this site, but just then you're able to follow the instructions with the assumption that you have that thing to sell, because then you can take that keyword, and then when it's time to get to week 3, Matt will be able to then deal with that topic and that theme with all the nuance of the silos and the long tails and mid tails and everything that he's going to show you. It's, again, without question, one of the more advanced trainings in the world around this. So I'm pretty blown away by how cool it's gotten. So I like to emphasize that. So that's the main thing. We're going to be getting into the pain behind the pain. You're going to need to address what the pain is in the market. And again, a sneak peek into week 2, okay? A pain versus a vitamin. That's what I'm really getting at. If, for instance, you already have a product and that product happens to be a vitamin, meaning generally speaking, most people's attitude is it's nice to have, but it's not got to have it now, okay? It's like the difference between aspirin and a vitamin. You guys know what I mean by that? It's just a general, okay, like a vitamin is something that, you probably buy food first at the grocery store. And if you ran out of money, you might go to the vitamin aisle if you were in the mood and you had a lot of expendable income. Aspirin, you got a headache and your wife's yelling at you at home and this and that or whatever. There's something going on. You need to get aspirin right away. So I know it seems obvious, but people do miss the difference between the vitamin or the painkiller. You can go ahead. None of us are telling you not to sneak ahead. I would suggest that as your homework assignment for this week that you just go ahead and sneak peek ahead in week 2. It's an incredibly rich module. Don't underestimate how much time and energy the team has put into creating this module. It is the sum total of about 3 to 5 years worth of research on students who have not been successful and how we made them successful in the early business stages. So go ahead and look at that. And if you're a vitamin right now, don't worry about it. If you're selling a vitamin, a vitamin meaning, or even if you're not sure, we'll get into that next week. If you're dealing with a vitamin, there's always ways to reposition that vitamin as a painkiller. There's ways to do what we call specsmanship to create distinction, and then the distinction becomes the attraction. We're going to get into some very advanced methods that probably you guys know, like they're subtle, they're a sneaking suspicion that you've always had that there's some kind of magic voodoo that marketers are using that you don't quite grasp. Yeah, well, we're going to give you all that. Okay, so yeah, so that's one of your assignments for this week. Go ahead and look at that. It's very dangerous and powerful stuff. And then to make matters worse or better for you, worse for your competition, we're going to be then showing you how to extract from that superior positioning all the keywords. This is where Matt is going to be showing you how to do the frequently asked questions to the should ask questions to position that distinction in the marketplace. At that point, you become both a neuromarketing distinction in the marketplace as well as a superior technology positioning with your authority, your domains, your domain authority, and your page authority. Okay, so that's the assignment for next week. All right, anything else, team? I think we should probably end this.
No, that's it. I think we've covered everything, Russ.
All right, Matt.
The guys have got it for the 8 weeks.
Okay, you have your instructions. Contact Matt. We're really working on getting you for next week, so go ahead and sneak peek ahead. Be thinking about it. If you don't have a product, find one that you use as a dummy product for now, or heck, you might even get into finding a product that you're going to use for this test run. And we'll see you next week, and we'll see you in our private members area. Thank you so much. This has been Russell Wright, Matt DeCruz, Sue Bell, the Network Empire Tech Foundation Level 1 team, and we look forward to seeing you at one of our upcoming live events, and we look forward to seeing you next week on the same bat cave, same bat time. Thanks, guys.
Cheers there. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys during the week.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.